Hey everybody, it's Vickie, and we are having Tea Time Tuesday with Millionaire Entrepreneur, my dad. So we've got our tea, and we are ready to chat with you guys about anything that you want, some success tips, and he's going to share with us a little bit about his background and the business that he's in. And I'm going to check really quick first to make sure that we are live streaming in the right place. Hold on just 1 second. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, guys, say hello when you come in. See, look, we're there. All right, I'm gonna share this to a couple places. And Dad, tell everybody about how you came to the United States and what year it was and what was going on. That's my friend Chenille, say hi.
Hi. Okay. I left Taiwan in 1966. Originally, I was studying and go to graduate study in Canada. And after I graduate, my professor encouraged me to come to the United States, take on a job instead of trying to find a teaching in a university. And I took his advice and come to the States and work in the industry. And of course, at that time, I was working on the burners, combustion chambers, and heat exchangers, boilers, and all related to mechanical engineering that I have.
He's got a PhD in mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
It's technical.
Well, then I work in a company which is a German subsidiary in Pittsburgh, working on the heat transfer subjects like boilers, heat exchangers. And pretty soon, 12 years passed.
Yeah.
Doing about the same thing in Pittsburgh.
Hey, Barbara. Hey, Stacy.
And after that, the situation economically in Pittsburgh was not very good. And so I changed job to work as a software developing person for a company working for the U.S. government. Well, not an employee of the U.S. government, but a contractor.
Right.
Okay?
So let's fast forward a little bit, Dad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we moved to Florida, right?
Yeah.
And there was me and my sister. We moved to Pennsylvania, and then, when was that? I think it was when I was in middle school. You got laid off.
Yeah, in 1984.
So he's telling everybody how old I am. Okay, so in 1984 or something like that. So then he actually had a job that was 4 hours away. Wasn't it 4 hours away from our house? So he had to commute. He stayed there during the week and then came home on the weekends. And eventually that company transferred him to Tennessee, where I graduated from high school. And when was it? Last year of high school?
Yeah.
When I was a senior. Basically, he went home to my mom and he said, I have a feeling I might get laid off again. And my mom said, this is not gonna happen anymore. And the way you make it not happen anymore is you open your own business. And that's how that came about. He became, was it a forced entrepreneur by mom? Because she said, we aren't going to go through this getting laid off thing again. We are going to take control of the situation and we're going to have our own business. So that's how that all came about. And he had some contacts already, right? So Oak Ridge, where I went to high school, is where the national labs are. So there's a lot of government stuff, a lot of government contracts. And so my dad had a lot of contacts in that area. So he was able to create this job. Now, you had special status at that time, right? So the thing is, my mom is actually the president of the company.
Well, she is a strong woman.
She's a strong woman.
And,
because Asian minority woman owned could get the government contracts.
but actually, she started the idea of
She did.
getting our own business
Yes.
because
Hey,
she
Deanne.
doesn't believe too much of my employment with other people. So, in other words, she really pretty strong opinion
Yeah.
about getting a business of our own.
Right. They
So-
say behind every good man is a strong woman, right? Every successful man has a strong
Yeah.
woman.
So a lot of credit have to go to her. Okay, and of course I'm doing technical parts most of the beginning years. She will stay in the office,
Yeah.
taking care of the
Yeah.
payroll, taking care of
Yeah.
all the other legal or accounting stuff.
Right.
So I was a little bit easier part. I just
I was the
do
easier part.
whatever need to be done.
Yeah, he says the
On the
easier
contract.
part, but he wrote the RFPs, he wrote the contracts, and I remember going home from high school. So, like, during my time growing up, we had a very normal life, right? Normal corporate job type of life, if you want to call it that, with blips of unemployment, I guess. And I remember going home from college, and they had beds set up. Remember that?
Yeah.
You had beds set up in their office, and they had how much? 3,000 square feet or something like that. You had a shower too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would actually sleep there at night because they were working so hard to make this company grow and be successful. So I guess that's a little bit of the Asian hard work ethic, huh, Dad?
Yeah. Well, of course, it's hard work regarding to starting a business.
Yes, Diane.
In the first few years, you've got to work very hard.
Yeah, yeah. Because, you know, in the first 3 years are very important, right?
Yeah,
That's when you make or break that business. So my dad actually has some things that he wants to share with you. So he was talking, I was talking to him yesterday about some of the keys to success and about the things that he would want you guys to know about, you know, what kind of things to think about as you're starting your business, growing your business, and continuing on. They became successful, gosh, how old were you by then, Dad?
Me?
50, no,
What?
just under 50, because I was 23, 24, and he's 30 years older than me. So that makes me 46 and him 76, November 24th this month, okay? So if you guys are doing the math. He's 76 in a couple weeks. So that was back when I was like 23-ish, 22-ish, I want to say. I graduated in 92, so I was 21. And that was about the time that they became successful, right? 51,
Well,
52.
The company is 31 years old.
Yeah. So there's a lot of truth in that statistic that people around 50 tend to be more successful. I don't mean that to discourage anybody, but just that it was something we were talking about yesterday, that with age, I guess, maybe comes some of that wisdom, right? So, Dad, what were those things that we were talking about yesterday you wanted to share?
Okay, now to begin with, you have to have the drive that you want to be successful in your business. And
That was my mom.
And personally, I think you also need to know what you are doing, or what kind of service you are going to provide, or your product that you are going to produce. You've got to have a very good knowledge of that, because you cannot rely on other people at the very beginning. You've got to know what you are selling, and so the knowledge is very important. And the other thing is that you also need to prepare a little money to set aside to begin with.
Yeah.
Because even if you have the order at the very first day of your business, you are not going to be able to receive the payment even if you send the invoice right away, you are not going to receive the payment right away. You will have a lag time. Sometimes it's 30 days, 60 days, who knows?
So I want to explain a little bit about that, because what my dad does is, he has contracts with the government. So they don't prepay. So like for our industry, when you get a coaching client, you do expect payment right away. But from what he's doing, they don't. And then they had equipment they needed to install, employees they needed to pay. And so they had to have money already set so that it could flow, so that 30, 60, 90, sometimes there's those collections, right?
Yeah, right.
They don't, the businesses B2B doesn't always pay right away. But for our business, if you're coaching or doing something like that, we get payment up front.
Okay. Well, even that, you need to have some money to invest into your business, because you need to buy. For instance, if you do programming, everything in your mind, with your hand, you still need a computer, or you need an internet connection. So you still need some money to invest into the business. So as they say that you have to spend money to make money. So, but you have to spend it wisely, okay? Because you have to preserve the capital at the beginning. You don't know what's going on, what's going to happen.
Yeah, true. My friend says even when we process the credit card payments, even though people are paying us right away, we don't get that payment until 3 or 5 days later, right? My friend Elena says we look alike. Do we look alike?
Okay.
It's just the glasses. Okay, what's next? What's the other thing?
Now, the next is you need to prepare. No matter what business you do, I think you need to be prepared for 3 things. And so you need to familiar with some of the people that in already there. So the first one you need to know is a banker. You have to get to know your local banker.
Get cozy with the people who have money.
Yeah, because in case you need some money to operating money to capital to operate your business, you never know when it will be suddenly you need some money all of a sudden, and you need to know the bank. And let them know what you are doing, and to be familiar with at least the bank manager, the branch manager, the people there. So when you need it, they know what you are doing, they know you personally, and I think has a better chance of getting some loans that you need.
Yeah, especially when you're a small business and you don't have a lot of income, like proof to give them. Especially
in the beginning years, you do need that, because after a few years, you accumulate some money there, capital, you really don't need the bank anymore. But at the very beginning, you do need the bank to back you up.
Yeah, until you're self-funded.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, even if you have money, I think you still need some reserve capacity there. Okay.
Yeah, and using other people's money to make money, right?
Yeah, right?
So for instance, like if we're doing Facebook ads, right? We'll do the Facebook ads and, you don't get billed for the Facebook ads right away. So while you're doing those Facebook ads and you're making money on your tripwire, or you're making money on enrolling people into your program or selling products and stuff, that is then paying for that ad. That ad is probably getting charged to a credit card that you don't have to pay for 30 years, I wish, 30 days and whatever. So I guess it's a bit of understanding how the money flows in your business. You have to be very aware of how that money is coming in and how it's going out and where it's allocated. And you really need to know. We were talking about this yesterday, about how often it's easy to just not know, right? It's so easy to not know where your money is going, where your money for your business, where it needs to come from next, where it needs to go out next, and how to prioritize those things. So when you get all those ducks in a row, it's easier to operate the business because you know how your money is flowing. Chenille says, get to know your banker. Yes, get to know your banker. Okay, what else, Dad?
Okay. The second person that you need to know or line up is an accountant.
That's my husband.
Okay, accountant. Somebody will help you to set up the accounting system for your company. Now, the thing is, you can buy probably a software like, on the computer or online, but you still need somebody familiar with the in and outs of accounting to give you some advice or some idea how this works, and especially how the file to be set up.
Yeah.
Like the vendors, like the customers or clients, and how that interact with your accounting system.
Right.
Because business is about money, so you got to know where your money coming in and coming out.
Business is about
money.
At all
time, you need to know how is the cost, where the money goes.
Right. You need to know the cost of your client acquisition. Right. You need to know the cost of your advertising. You need to know the effectiveness and the benchmarks and the percentages that you're looking at those things as well. So you have a question here, Dad. Deanne says, any thoughts about startup funds with limited access to funds and credit in the early stages? Prioritizing is always a challenge. Huh? Do you have any thoughts on that? Thoughts about how to get startup funds?
Well, of course, you have to save up first. You got to have some money. And then the second thing is if you are very confident in your house, in your business, then you have the house, you have, you got to be a little bit saving there before you can really start.
So you've got to get creative about where you can get the money. So I'm going to tell you something. My dad did not give me money to start my business. This is what I did. So very early on, I had other businesses. So like little side gigs along the way, right? I sold things on eBay. What else did I have? I had money from my IRA, from my savings for retirement. Chanel says, absolutely know where your money is coming in and out. Elena says, bummer. Yeah. She says, bummer, Dad. You want to give me some money now? he should be my banker, right? So anyways, I used that money to start my business. I got really creative about where I could sell stuff. And seriously, I sold the kids' clothes. I sold their toys. I sold stuff on eBay. I went to garage sales and I bought stuff and then I sold it again. I got really good at finding a deal at a garage sale and then throwing it on eBay and making money. Yeah. And I did garage sales at my house. And gosh, I did a few garage sales at my house. I made a few $1,000s. And that's how I started my business. In addition to, I have really good credit. Now, I know that some people don't have that good credit. And this is something that, he taught me very early on, is you have to be responsible with your money. When you're responsible with your money, then you have good credit. When you have good credit, you can go to the bank and get whatever you want. So I had 0% credit cards. So my very first coaching certification that I did through Divine Living Academy cost $14,500. I put that money on 2 0% credit cards that allowed me to pay it off for 0 interest for up to 12 months. Some of them go up to 21 months. And what was really cool is those credit cards had points. We are the credit point queen and king, my mom actually, and I got a free ticket to go to the event in Los Angeles off of putting that money on that account. So whenever I pay for any kind of coaching, any type of advertising on Facebook, any of my expenses go on credit cards that actually earn me points. I turn those points into meals out. I turn those points into airplane tickets, right? I turn those points into cash. I do so many things. So one of the things that my mom taught me how to do very early on was to get a deal. Right, Dad?
Yeah, right.
Get a deal. My mom was always like, you know what, you buy at the end of the season for the next season. You shop on the clearance rack. Like 10% does not excite me. 25% does not excite me. Wait until it's 80 or 90% off. Okay. That's when it excites me. Or when I get it for free. Yeah, I manifest stuff for free. And this is all money. It's all currency. It's, you know, it's all the same. It's just a different way of looking at it rather than cold hard cash, right? So Valerie says, how did I start? So I told you about how to start. Business to start your business. Yes, I had a business kind of to start my business. It's kind of like, you know, people, when you have that corporate job right now and you want to leave it, you're still taking that money from the corporate job and you're probably funding what you want to do now until you can quit that corporate job, right? Chanel says, love that. Him not giving you helped you find that resourcefulness. Yeah. You know, I haven't had any money like from my husband. I did not take out of his retirement or our family accounts. It's all been stuff that I have done because that's how much it meant to me to be successful and to be proud. And one of the things that people are like, you know, yeah, I really want to pay for college for my kids and stuff like that. Sometimes there's a lot of lessons to be learned. My dad actually said yesterday, remember this, Dad? He said he didn't want to employ me, my sister, the grandchildren, whatever, because it is important to have real world experience, and being sheltered by being given a job in a cushy company because your grandpa owns it or because your dad owns it isn't going to teach you very much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did work there for a little bit. My sister did work there for a little bit, but we went off and did other things as well. So Dad, tell us, you know, when you are at the peak of your success, right? Okay, I got to tell you guys, right? So the peak of your success was when what? When I was 25? When I was 25?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had maybe what, 5 contracts?
Yes.
5 contracts at that point, and now you have 1. 2. Okay, my mom won't let him retire.
Well, actually, we have 4 countries. Right?
Okay, they're just not as big as the ones that they were back then, right? Because he was more technical, and now he's not as technical, and so his contracts aren't as technical. They're not as big. And my mom is just like, you're not ever allowed to retire. We're just going to keep doing this forever. Right?
Yeah. But when the business getting a little bit more mature and get going, you can afford to hire people to do some of the work that originally you are doing yourself. Mm-hmm. So that's what we have now. I have a very good helper that manage all the technical part.
It's not me.
Okay. Yeah, it's not you. And so I'm not that involved in the technical part, but of course I'm still very much involved in the money part of the business.
Yeah, because you always have to know what's going on with the money.
You always have to control the accounting, the cost, and also the invoice and the contracts, especially the contracts that you need to sign, and you have to know exactly what you are signing for. That
was the other person you said yesterday that they need to know. We kind of interrupted your list. What was the other thing? Was the lawyer.
Yeah. The third person that you need is a lawyer. Okay, you don't know the people, what would happen in your business. Now, you don't really need a lawyer right away unless you want them to incorporate the business for you. Sometimes accounting can do that too. So you don't really need a lawyer per se in the very first stage of your business. But you need to think about that. If something happens to the business, somebody sued you, you never know, you know.
Yeah.
Or
don't wait until you're sued to get the lawyer. Have a lawyer before that.
Yeah, you need
have a lawyer for your contracts.
Yeah,
as
you need to line up some lawyer that will give you some legal advice.
Yep.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying to her that we discussed yesterday is that you need 3 kind of people that to help you. One is the banker. The second one is the accountant. The third one is the attorney.
Yep, that's what Chenille said.
Okay.
And then the candlestick maker. And the butcher and the baker.
Yeah. So this is the lawyer is very important. Okay, because also they would, if you incorporate, you need to write a corporate minutes every year, and if you get audited, they would read your minutes for whatever the year that they are auditing, either IRS or as a government contractor, we get audited all the time by the DCAA.
Hi, Tanya.
Okay, so it's very important to keep your file and your matter in order in-house.
Yeah. This is how you keep order in the house, with the accountant, the banker, and the lawyer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and knowing where all your money is.
Huh?
Knowing where all your money is.
Yeah, right.
Right, because business is about money. I think that's the best quote of today. Business is about money.
Well, yeah, a lot of people say, well, I do enough for money, but it is money, even if you don't really care for what, or you say.
Okay, I gotta tell you about my dad. He's never been the one that's been like, I need a buttload of money to be happy. He's not that way. He's like, I can live in a little straw hut and, do my thing, and so long as I get some food and cookies, cookies and cheesecake and, his sweets and stuff, then he's happy. So he's never really been one that's been like, okay, the key to happiness is making a whole lot of money. However, you have to have money in order to have experiences and to live and to enjoy things.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, Vickie is right. I did not invest directly money into his business.
He's feeling guilty now.
But my wife and I try to support her.
Yeah,
many
my dad
other
has.
ways, okay?
He has never, ever been like, "Oh my gosh, you should not do that. What are you thinking?" He's always been like, "Oh, what are you doing? That's really cool. I hope you get really successful." I do have to say that when I needed to travel, I did get points from them. So yes, I did get travel from them from time to time. And my mom did go with us to Italy. If you guys were with me during that time, I took my daughter and my mom, and we had a grand old time on her points. And that is why being able to have that good credit for those cards is good as well, right? Yeah. So any other questions you guys have for my dad? Oh, okay. Tanya says, so much wisdom coming from your father. Deanne says, business is about money. Yes. So what else was I going to ask? I forgot what else I was going to ask you. I don't think I was. I forgot what else we were going to talk about.
Okay.
So you guys have to come up with something if you have any more questions. Chenille says, this was amazing. They're just more curious about what kind of dirt you have to tell them about me when I was little. They just want to know what I did when I was little.
Oh, when you were little.
A little off topic, but tell us one of your funniest moments. Oh, she did. Chenille. She wants to know funniest moment between the two of us. The funniest moment.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a funny moment. If you guys saw on my Facebook page, we were playing games the other day. Okay, so I think Grandpa has kind of changed, because when I was little, I remember that he would always let me win at the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he would just always let me win. And then there came a time when I don't remember, 11, 12 years old or something, and I knew that he was letting me win. And I was like, Dad, it's not any fun if you're not trying. If you're playing chess or checkers or something like that, it's not any fun if the other person isn't trying. So I'm like, you can't just let me win all the time. But I suppose that's what dads do. But we were playing games the other day, and he was not about to let my boys win. You were going to win that Jenga. Oh my gosh, yeah. So they all saw your Jenga, Dad.
Hmm?
They all saw you flicking that piece on the Jenga, on the wooden game, the tower.
Oh, I see.
Yup, he just
Oh,
flicked
you
that.
put that on?
Yeah, I put that on. I put
see.
everything on Facebook. That's what my kids say. Why are you doing that? Because I want to. All right, so do you have any funny story about me growing up?
Oh, gee. There are a lot of things, but I don't remember all of them.
There's a lot of things. Like what? Like what?
I remember one time I was driving a lawnmower.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Okay, and I stopped because Vickie come over to talk to me, and I didn't stop the blade, so it's still running. Somehow she stuck her shoes in underneath the lawnmower because it's a riding lawnmower. Okay, so it's pretty
Don't
high.
worry, I have my toes.
And I didn't know that. And after a while, when we go back to the house, I'd say, well, what happened to your shoes? Because there's a cut in the shoes. And we didn't know that almost cut her toe away.
It was a good thing my shoes were too big. I'm not sure that's funny. I guess it's funny because we both didn't notice until later, and I had the top of my shoe was open. Yeah, and I remember that. Okay, Dad is the garbage can. Dad is the garbage can, and I would be like, I never liked the butt of the banana. And I'd always make him eat the butt and the bruises off my bananas so I wouldn't have to eat them. Oh, gosh. Okay, so Deanne says, what lessons about money, life, business, etc. would you say is the most valuable lesson you learned from your dad? Oh, what did I learn from my dad? He said to me, I remember this very, very, very distinctly in college. I was a little bit like into watching, what is that? It's like Home Shopping Network or something. And I bought some towels and some other things. And I remember it was $200 and I put it on the credit card and I didn't have money to pay it off. And my dad said to me, because I called him up and like, Dad, can you give me $200? He said, no. Actually, he said yes in the end. First, he said, look, you need to quit counting your eggs before they're hatched. You have to have the money to back up whatever you're buying. Just go buy something when you can't pay for it. So that was something that I learned very early on that I kind of do now, but as well also, that there's a fine line with that. You need to, like he was saying, have the credit and spend the money on your business is a little different than like going out and buying shoes or towels that you don't have money for, right? So he did in the end say, I'll give you the $200, but don't do it ever again. And I didn't ask him for any money after that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, I really don't remember much.
He doesn't remember that. So, the thing about money, though, is one of the things that he used to say all the time, and he still says, is there's no problem with money. All you need to do is just go make more. If you don't have enough money right now, if you want something and you don't have the money for it, just go make more money because there's always money. Money is plentiful. Money is always getting printed. Money is abundant. It's out there. And all you have to do is figure out how to make more. And that's one of the things that he said very early on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, about business. I don't know about business. It was funny because he actually didn't really know what I did until yesterday. I was like, Dad, you don't really know what I do you? And he's like,
but
yeah,
I
that's
did told you that I'm glad to see that you are enjoying yourself doing the business.
Yeah. He is. So, but I had to actually explain it a little bit to him that, you know, I do the books, but there's a bigger vision with the books in that it's really business and marketing, right? And it's not just about the books. It's about personal development. It's about law of attraction. It's about all those things. So yes, he saw that I was doing books, but he didn't know about all the other stuff behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I had to explain it to him. But this online thing's a little different for, you know, he's 30 years older than me. And if I whispered, he wouldn't be able to tell what I was saying.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. You guys have any other questions? I hope this was fun for you. It was fun for me. You know, I have learned so much from my dad through these years about, you know, being happy in the moment, being able to be grateful for today, being satisfied with what you have, and it being okay if you want more. And whatever it is that you want in life is fine. Just go figure out how to make the money to go get whatever it is. And happiness and money are not equated. They're just, you know, money is something that you need to have to live. Happiness is a state of mind and joy is a state of mind, right? It kind of doesn't have anything to do with one or the other. But if there's something that you want and you want it enough, that'll get you the action to go get it, which will make you money. Okay, Deanne says, on a personal note, as someone who lost my father at 15, it is a joy to see that strong father-daughter relationship, guidance, and mentoring. Oh, thank you, Deanne. I'm sorry to hear about that. So, okay, guys. If you have any questions during the replay, we will be back to answer them. Cherish the time. You're blessed to still have both of your parents. Yes, yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Any last parting words of wisdom, Dad?
No, I hope I did something good.
They seem to like it, Dad. All right. He's going back to Tennessee tomorrow. If you guys don't know, I live in Michigan. So he's going back to Tennessee. Michigan here is very cold for him. And I guess maybe one day we'll be back again. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.